Okay, so we're going to talk about our skill review. Number one is to use the distributive property and write two different expressions that equal 96. All you have to do is think about two numbers that you would add together, because right here it says each expression should be the product of a number and a sum. So you want to add the numbers together. So let's make it easy. 90 plus 6. Pull out your greatest common factor. Or a factor, it doesn't even have to be your greatest common factor. Pull out the factor maybe 2. That would leave you with 45 and 3. So here's 1. You have 2 times, because it's the product of a number and a sum. So 45 plus 3, that would be 1 distributive property. And you could go here and pull out another one. 3 goes into both of those. 3 goes into 45 15 times. And 3 goes into 3 one time. So that could be 6 times 15 plus 1. Or if you didn't want to do a second one, you could have said something like, 80 plus 16 equals 96. So if I pulled out a 4, that could be 20 plus 4. I could have written 4 times 20 plus 4. There's several different things you could have done. These are just some examples. It only asked for 2, but I wanted to give you an option of doing more than one distributive property within the same numbers, or you could just do one with one problem and then do another problem that equaled 96. All right, number 2. The cost of a taxi ride is $3 for the first mile and $2.25 for each additional mile. Write the expression. So it gives you the formula for the cost of the taxi ride in dollars as the sum of 2 terms. The sum of 2 terms. So you want to add 2 terms where M represents the miles traveled. M is the miles traveled. Okay, all I'm going to do, since it gave me the formula, I am just going to rewrite the formula, and then I'm just going to distribute my 225 through to each of the terms. So it's going to give me $3 plus, 2.25 times M is just 2.25 M minus, because that's a minus, and then 225 times 1 is just 2.25. Okay, it says 2 terms. Well, I have 1, 2, 3 terms. Are any of these like terms? Yes. Your 3 and your minus 225. Remember, that operation goes with that number. So I need to make sure I include that. So this does not have a like term. I'm going to go ahead and just write that. 2.25 M. And then 3 minus, think about it like dollars. $3 minus $2.25. How much money would you have left? 75 cents. So it would be plus, because it's a positive 75, 0.75. Now, is this the sum of 2 terms? Yes, it is. And I am done. All right, number 3. All right, it says, which expression is equivalent to 91 plus 39? Well, over here, it just shows they have a common factor that was pulled out of both of them. So rather than creating your own, just look at what they have. Can I pull a 13 out and it give me a whole number? 91 divided by 13 is going to give me 7. But is 39 divided by 13, what is that? That's going to give me 3. So what this would look like is 13 times 7 plus 3. This is 13 times the sum of 7 plus 39. What mistake did they make here? They forgot to factor out the 13. So nope, it's not that one. I don't know about this one yet. We'll come back. 13 multiplied by the sum of 7 plus 3. Isn't that what I had over here? Yes, so I know it's C. And then this is 3, and then this is 7. So let me try 91 plus 39. Pull out a 3. Can I divide 3 or 91 by 3 and get a whole number? No, I'd get 30.3 repeating. So that, remember, I have to have a whole number. And then I could do 91 plus 39 divided by 7. And 91 divided by 7 is going to give me 13. But 39 divided by 91 divided by 7 is going to give me 13. But 39 divided by 7 is going to give me a decimal. So since that is not a whole number, that cannot be true. And it said which expression, meaning singular. So just one. All right, number 4. There we go. Number 4, Miss Shadi, I don't know, I'm horrible at names, writes 3G equals 51 and says that 15, 16, and 17 are solutions. Are they? Well, since it says equals, you're only going to have one solution. So just solve for your equation. Get G by itself. Isolate your variable. How do I do that? I take the inverse operation of what's happening to the G. Well, what's happening to my variable? It's being multiplied by 3. So I divide it by 3 to get G by itself, but to keep my equation balanced, I also have to divide the 51 by 3. And so I would get G equals 17. So my only solution would be 17 is a solution, comma, 15 and 16 are not solutions. 15, 16 are not. Okay. There's my final answer. Number 5. Jason is making a concrete driveway. He mixes the dry cement and water in the correct ratio. The table shows how much dry cement to mix with the different amounts of water. Jason says that the graph of the relationship meaning to each other, includes the point 63 and 140. Is Jason correct? Well, what do we know about equivalent ratios? They all have the same unit rate. So let's take the unit rate of one of these. I'm going to do 120 divided by 54 because I want to turn my 54 into 1. If I take, there we go. Okay, if I take 120 and I divide it by 54, it's going to give me 2.22 repeating. So let's take the 140 and find the unit rate. For every 1 pound of cement, how much water would that be? 140 divided by 63 would also give me 2.22 repeating. They both have the same unit rate. If they have the same unit rate, that means they are equivalent ratios. So what does it say? Jason says the graph of the relationship includes, is Jason correct? Yes, Jason is correct. 63,140 would be a point. On the graph. Right. Number 6. Okay, number 6. Which value in the set is a solution for 4g equals 48? Remember, since it's an equation, you only have one solution. So isolate your variable by taking in the inverse operation. Since it's being multiplied, I'm going to divide it. Balance your equation by doing the exact same thing on the other side, which would say that g should only equal 12. So 12 is the solution. Number 7. Find the whole numbers to show the product of 45 plus 105. 45 plus 105. Just pull out your greatest common factor. Well, we know 5 goes into it, so let's do 5. 5 goes into 45 9 times, and 5 goes into 105 21 times. Well, this says that my first number in my sum is 3, so to pull out another factor. What goes into both of those? 3. 3 goes in 9 3 times. 3 goes in 21 7 times. Do I have a 3? Yes, plus 7. And then what is my product? That's 5 times 3, 15. So it should equal 15 times the sum 3 plus 7. All right, number 8. You know how bad I am at pronouncing names. Let's move on. Okay, she collects donations for the animal shelter. At the end of March, she has $545.40 in donations. In April, she collects the donations of $20 and 20 cents each. At the end of April, she has $787.80 in donations. Use an equation with the variable to find the number of donations she collects in April. So right now, I have to use a verb to find in April. Okay, so let's do D equals the donations in April. And then, so we need the donations March. We need March's donations. And we need to add that to the how much she collected in April. April's donations. Sorry, that turned into one word. And it should be the amount donated by the end of April. So March's donations. At the end of March, she had, so let's go and put that in, $545.40 in March. So I'm done with March. So there's the end. And then in April, it says in April, she collects donations of $20.20 each. So they're donations in April. So that would be 20.20 each, means every single time, each donation. And then all of that at the end of April she should have $787.80. All right, so now use an equation with the variable. Well, here's an equation, but let's take it. Let's take it a step further. Let's try to get this term by itself. Well, how do I get this term with the variable by itself? I want to get rid of this. Well, how do I get rid of that? This is being what to this term? It's being added. So take the inverse operation. What's the inverse operation of addition? Subtraction. So that would leave me with 20.20 D equals, remember I want to keep it balanced, so I need to subtract same amount on the other side. And that would leave me with 242.40. And then if I want to use an equation with the variable to find the number of donations, so I do have to solve for it. What's happening to my variable? It's being multiplied, so I want to divide it by the number I want to get rid of. Divide the other side by the same number to keep it balanced. And that would leave me with D equals 12. So the number of donations in April is 12. Draw a line over that. Don't do that. All right, number 9. Gonna be a long video. Apologize now. Pause it. I'm gonna sharpen my pencil. Okay, so Baxter's Hardware has some followers on their social media account on Friday. So let's do F, meaning the number of followers on Friday. On Saturday, the account gains 20 new followers, so that would be a plus 20 gains. On Sunday, 18 people stopped following, so that would be a minus 18. Baxter's Hardware has 25 followers on Monday. The equation is, okay, so here's Friday plus the 20 new followers minus the 18 that stopped following them on Saturday, but on Monday he has 25 and no other activity happened. So if I have Friday started with this, he gained 20, he lost 18, but come Monday morning he had 25. I just have to combine like terms. F would stay the same, but these two I can combine. If I have 20 and I take 18 away, doesn't that leave me with 2? And then 25, take the inverse operation to get rid of your term 2. Balance it by doing it the same way. So F would equal 23. Representative recorder. So how many followers? He had 23 followers on Friday morning. On Friday or Friday morning? Let's just put Friday. Okay. Number 10, 1 penny. 1 penny has a mass of 2.6. Each roll, 1 penny has a mass of 2.6 grams. Each roll of pennies contains 50 pennies. Write an equation with 2 variables that can be used to determine the total mass of grams of the pennies in any number of rolls. All right, so we know there are 50 pennies per roll. I'm not going to write per roll. And then we know that each of the pennies is 2.5 grams. Okay, 1 penny. Okay, so if I do 50 times 2.5, that would mean that each roll is 125 grams per roll. Let's do R for the rolls. So let's do R is the number of rolls of pennies. And M is the total mass of pennies. Of the pennies. Pennies. Okay. So if I do what is the mass? Well, the mass is the number of is time spent in bakery based on the time he spends in the bakery without cleanup. X time without cleanup. Okay. So it's asking me explain my reasoning. What does it want to know? It wants to know based on write an equation that can be used to determine the total amount of time he spends in the bakery. So couldn't I plus the 48 minutes of cleanup. And here's my equation. Oh, wait, and explain your reasoning. Okay, so here's my equation. And then 21 minus F. What? Okay, so we haven't learned how to do, like normally I would say isolate it, but we haven't learned how to do negative numbers yet. So what you can do is just substitute 21 minus 5, 21 minus 6, 21 minus 7, 21 minus 8, 21 minus 9, and which one equals 13? Well, 21 minus 5 is 12, so that can't be it. 5's not it. 21 minus 6 is 13. Oh wait, I think I read that wrong. No, it's okay. So 13